Some of us already turned in the assignment due Monday, and it's very exciting. I think some of you guys really have artistic talent. You can probably frame your drawing and sell it on eBay. Well, that's just kidding. But you guys did a really good job. I'm impressed. This perspective view. Today we're going to talk about something that is really the core of this class. It's what we call orthographic view. Orthographic view. And sometimes we call it orthographic projection or multi-view drawing. Projection. And among those multi-view drawing, that's a convention. It's called front, top, right side view. The three-view drawings. Three-view drawings. Thus is the conventional drawing method. The three-view drawing was the so-called blueprints that we see. The blueprints that we see very often in technical drawings. And that blueprints, it was developed in 1800. Along that time, we didn't have a copy machine, so if you have a drawing, how do you copy it? How do you mass produce it so that the other people can use the drawing? That the people find a method, use ammonia, some kind of chemical, ammonia, citrate, something like that. Anyway, that ammonia is gonna make a copy of your drawing, but also at the same time make your paper turns into light blue. So that's why we call it blueprints. Anyway, the orthographic view, there are certain rules. Let's take a look at the three-view drawing. I'm going to use my T-box here again and to illustrate how do we do that. First, we're going to choose a front surface, and then it's like we are taking a picture of the front surface and then we draw it. And this is what we call the front view. Okay, so we draw that. And this one here, if you use a ruler, draw it a little bit better here. And this is front view. That's the front view. And then we turn around to the top, and so suddenly we have this green T. We have this green T here. And then you turn around 90 degrees, and you have the top view, and you take a picture again, and then you lay it on top of on the top direction for this front view. Then you take a picture and then you lay it there, and that's gonna be your top view. That's gonna be your top view. Then you turn around this way, and you turn around this way, and you take a picture again. And you draw it here again. And that's gonna be the right view. So we have front, top, right. The convention, front, top, right. The three-view convention, that's the most popular here. So inside that, there are certain rules governing That's a 3-view drawing here. Inside that's views here. This is something we call folding line or unfolding line. By the way, you don't need to draw this folding line, so no need to draw. But this just tells you how do we draw this front, top, right side view. Okay, so you have front, and then you top, unfold this way, top. And right side, you unfold this way. Okay, those are directions. So that's one convention. Now, how much is between the top and the front and right side view? Normally, we set it like 1 inches. 1 inch here, 1 inch here. But this number, this 1 inch, is not critical. It's not critical. Normally, we set at 1 inches. Now, there are some other relative positions. You got to follow that, relative positions. So the relative position means, okay, let's say those should be on the same line. These two lines should be on the same line. They should line up. Okay, now if you have a 45-degree line here, if you have 45-degree line here, and those lines, they should, if you draw a horizontal line and reach this, draw a vertical line, horizontal line, vertical line, and they should be lined. So this is the position, relative positions of that. So this is a 45-degree line, and then they should line up of that. So you can see this is something we call the waist, and the waist is going to be the same. Okay, and that's going to be the height. You should line up here, my drawing here. That's going to be the height. This is going to be the same height. Okay, and now this one here, this line we call the depth. And if this is the depth, this is the same depth. So they should be equal. The length of the line should be equal. This is a relative position of those three views. Now, what is a line? A line is two surfaces intersection here. Okay, anything that is you can see is a visible line. We call it a visible line. And in the previous lectures, we long time ago, at the beginning of the class, in classroom, we talked about this visible line, the line width, which is the thickness of the line. We call the line width in AutoCAD is 0.5 millimeter here. Okay, so visible line, you got to draw it, and 0.5 millimeter. Now, let's say if I have a feature that is blocked by the surface, this is something we call a hidden line. Hidden lines. And the hidden lines, we know those are 0.25 millimeter thickness. 0.25 millimeter thickness. So certainly, if you have an internal feature, which I don't, that's not a very good model here. But anyway, if you have an internal feature, let's say if you have a hole, and certainly if from this hole from here, you can see it. This side, you can see it. So then you have to use a hidden line to draw that. Now, when we talk about a hole, how about a cylinder? And this cylinder here, how do you draw it? A cylinder is drawn in this way here, a cylinder. That's going to be a cylinder. Now, let's see. That's going to be a cylinder here. And a cylinder should have a center line here. A center line. So that's going to be the cylinder. I'm going to draw it a little bit darker here. So this is going to be a center line here. That's going to be the center line. So that's going to be a cylinder here. So that's going to be a cylinder here. So you're going to, a cylinder, you're going to have a center line. You're going to have a certain edge over there, and then just a circle here. Then you got to have a center line. Center line. Center line is also thin lines. Those are also thin lines. And those we call the thin lines here. Thin lines here. 0.25 millimeter. 0.25 millimeter. Okay. Now, that's a center line here. Now let's say if my box here, let's say if my box, I'm going to draw my box here, that has a hole, has a cylinder, has a hole, certainly I don't, has a hole goes through it, has a hole goes through it, and that's going to be your top view, has a hole goes through it, that's going to be your top view here. They should line up here, they should line up, and certainly this hole is going to be a cylinder, and then you need to draw hidden lines. Remember, hidden lines are dashed lines, and you need to have a center line here. You need to have a center line here. You have center lines here. Okay, so that's going to be a cylinder here. And if you want to draw a right side view, and that's going to be the holes here. That's going to be the holes here. You're going to have hidden lines here, and then you're going to have center line. So you know that's going to be a cylinder. That's going to be a cylinder. Now, only this situation that two surfaces come together, you don't need to draw a line. Something called a tangent. For example, this surface here and this cylinder surface here sitting on it, and certainly this my sheet here is tangent to this circle here. So tangent intersection, no line. Tangent intersection, no line. Other than that, if this one comes like not tangent, let's say it cuts through here, it cuts through my cylinder, then you will have one or more lines of that, right? You will have one or more lines like that. So those are the three-view drawing here. Now that's a little bit tricky here for cylinder. Cylinder here, you have a complete circle here. You have a complete circle. How about if my corner was cut off? My corner cut a round corner off. It's rounded. And if it's rounded, certainly you will have to round here. You will have to round here. Let's say if you have a round, you have a round here. And on top of that, you don't see any line because it's gonna be, this is gonna be a tangent contact. You don't see any line here. How about here? Here you don't see any line here either because this is a tangent contact. You don't see on right view, you don't see a line because it's tangent contact. Now how about this? This is something we call the arc. This arc. How about arc? Do you need to have center lines for the arc? And for arc, partial circle, which is arc, partial circle, that is arc. If this arc is, if it's half circle or more, you need to have center lines. You need to have center lines. If it's less than half, no center lines. No center lines here. Okay, now take a look at my corner. If my corner was cut, my corner, let's say if I cut my corner here, oh, that's a lemon. Oh, but this lemon is not positioned very well. Anyway, if you cut like this, because this is only what we call a quarter arc, it's less than half, so you don't need to have center lines here, no center lines here. Okay, there's a circle here, there's a circle here. Yeah. But anyway, I'm gonna give you an assignment. I'll make a copy of the assignment and email you. Okay, have a good one.